to this clip. This is from Congress. Bioethicists, we have commodified babies and baby parts. We've reached a point in our society where there effectively is an Amazon.com for human parts. Entire babies. Representative Diane Black, Republican Tennessee, asked the witness at the special hearing on bioethics and fetal tissue on Wednesday. Dr. Jared Kevin Donovan, a pediatrician and bioethicist at Georgetown University, responded that the practice of using tissue from aborted babies the government termed research shocks my conscience, and it should shock the conscience of the nation. See, they played a game where they go, fetal tissue, fetal tissue. Bush won't let us have fetal tissue. But then if you label it differently, you can use whatever you want. See, it's all games, and that's being shattered now. Let's go ahead and go to this testimony.
I want to ask the panelists, have we reached a point in our society where there effectively is an Amazon.com for human parts, including entire babies? And I'd like to ask our panel for their opinion on this email and the notion of obtaining potentially entire embryos on demand. Dr. Donovan, would you like to address this?
I personally find that it shocks my conscience, and I think it should shock the conscience of the nation. I think you're absolutely right. You know, we have commodified what have been referred to as the products of conception, meaning babies and baby parts. And yes, they are for sale, supposedly just to cover one's costs. Those costs seem to be quite variable. But even if they were given away free, it's shocking to be ordering what you want. Can I have a boy fetus or a girl fetus or a brain or a heart or a liver? This is totally in distinction to the honorable transplantation industry that is life-saving and shows great respect for the donors.
Ms. Cunningham.
I think what we need to pay attention to here is not, is this somehow increasing abortion? My concern is that researchers have come to count on induced abortion for their research. And one of the articles that I cited in my written testimony shows that they say that liver from induced abortions is widely available and is a promising source. What have we come to where researchers need induced abortion to do their research? Wouldn't it have been better if we had banned this at the beginning and used the creative minds that we have?
And Ms. Cunningham, I hate to cut you off, but I have
alternatives.
Thank you, and I just have one brief comment to make because my time is going to end here in just a second. I believe that we should give the same information and dignity to these young women that are making these decisions. And I believe that it should be a more informed and educational decision that they are making, and I don't believe that is happening currently.
All right. For an 8-month-old induced abortion, what they mean is late term, they can get hundreds of thousands of dollars. But to run these giant facilities and the ads and the marketing, they call it expenses. It's all a sick game. But they always just change the subject. This is total dehumanization. And remember, we talk about this 15, 16, 17, 18 years ago. And people would say, oh, they're not selling baby parts. Ladies and gentlemen, women wonder why abortions were $300 when I was in high school, and they're $300 today. That's just the number they've got to make you think it's a service. They get federal and foundation grants that pay for it all, and then they're selling the tissue. They have been selling melted down baby collagen for at least 30 years out of China. It's fenced into France. It's put in the finest cosmetics that women buy. And women, you really should investigate if your companies you're buying from are that, because you don't want to be smearing melted down baby fat on your face, sweetheart. And yeah, it does make you look young, doesn't it? You have become vampires unknowingly. Now, here's the big secret, and I don't personally follow this or believe this. When I say these things, it's like I'm an anthropologist or a sociologist in New Guinea studying the tribes that eat their enemies' organs and shrink their heads and believe that they get the power of their spirit. I don't believe that. But the dominant religion in the global elite is an amalgamation of a host of occult practices around the world. They even integrate Aztec culture ideas as far west as that, but it's mainly settled around Germanic, Luciferian, Faustian death cult. And they do black magic rituals at Bohemian Grove. I've been there, and Skull and Bones has come out, people broken in there, and there's the annals. First, they do corrupting rituals where they bathe in feces and urine and have sex. And that's even in the movie The Good Shepherd that has Matt Damon in it and was directed by Robert De Niro. I mean, I'm just telling you, and of course we told you about it years before that was in the movie. And then after they've got you to get ready to corrupt yourself, then you start to corrupt others. And they basically want to introduce corruption into you spiritually. And whether you believe there's a spirit or not, which obviously there's other dimensions there is, just another dimension of our being, but the core that goes on, the animation of the body. But it's more sophisticated. Your Earth suit is a genetic memory, literally, of everybody before you. So it's multi-levels, and no one else says this. I say this. This is the truth. Dealing with the body. But it's a fact. It's prima facie right there. The memories, the instincts, the cells, the genetics. It's a code. I mean, the elite know this. But I'm the only one saying it publicly. And I know what's in their writings a lot of times before I even read their writings because I'm just tuned in directly to what's going on. I'm not bragging. It's just a fact. And the secret is the allegories like The Golden Child, pretty good movie with Eddie Murphy, and they're trying to get the little holy boy who they want to kill so they can bring in the Antichrist to, unbalance the world and bring in the evil. It's more of an Illuminati view of things, but they want to kill him with this special dagger, but they can't till he's injected and until he's willfully ingested the blood of sacrificed children. And it's like episode 3 in Star Wars when Palpatine, Darth Sidious says to Darth Vader, to really get evil and to really get rid of the goodness in you and to really go to the dark side of you to go kill about 100 kids. Go to the Jedi Temple and kill all the younglings. Only then will you be powerful enough to face Obi-Wan Kenobi. And see, these are children's movies, but they're allegories. And Lucas said that of how things really work. And he said, you want to know about 9/11? See episode 3, where it's a false flag. And so they need us to say abortion's okay. They need us to eat and ingest the sacrificed babies. It's spiritual, because then God's protection's taken away from us. That's why Pepsi and a whole bunch of other formulators use baby fetal parts in their flavor production. Then they synthetically, off the baby parts, produce the flavor, but then they test it in a genetic match with the flavor of baby fat, baby endorphins, growth hormone, things like that. That's how they get around the law to not tell you they're putting growth hormone-like things in the food. They just create something that's close to it, but is biological in nature and has a larger molecule. And so food is really drugs. That's why they want to addict you and get you off real food and force you into their matrix. I remember that came out like 5 years ago. People couldn't believe it. Now folks go, oh yeah, it's been in the news. Pepsi, Remember Obama came in and wouldn't let the board of directors even wanted to know why we have baby parts. It's hurting sales. And the Homeland Security got involved and said, and it was in the news and said, it's not being looked at, okay? Because it's national security that you drink Pepsi tainted with the essence of dead children. Get in the game, folks. Because then metaphorically, the Ajani dagger can be slid right into you and your family. And they got spiritual right to kill you. They're conducting black magic on a huge scale. You need to understand that. Now, if you've been involved in abortion, or you've been drinking or using cosmetics and ingesting humans, you can be forgiven at any time. It's metaphysical. You got to say, I didn't know, I repent, or I believed it was just body parts. I didn't know I killed my child, or I didn't know I paid girlfriends to kill their kids. I repent, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. You will feel the weight just come off you. I'm telling you, folks, the enemy knows how to control things for a reason. They've got you caught in what they believe is a black magic spell. And quite frankly, whatever it is, it's working. I've studied them. I mean, they don't have, all the Bush sons bathing in feces and worshiping Satan for nothing. You understand that?